No one. The most mind-boggling geographical fact about the UK. In everyday life, have you ever heard people use United Kingdom, Great Britain, or England as if they were the same thing? In fact, this is one of the classic confusions that many people around the world have made, because the meanings of these names are completely different. Specifically, the United Kingdom, officially called the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, is an independent country located in northwestern Europe. It is made up of 4 parts: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. You can think of it a bit like the United States, which is made up of many states. The United Kingdom is a nation made up of 4 smaller nations united together. Great Britain, on the other hand, is simply the name of the island that contains 3 of these 4 members: England, Scotland, and Wales. Great Britain does not include Northern Ireland because Northern Ireland is located on part of the island of Ireland, separate from the main island. Finally, one of the most common sources of confusion is England. England is just one of the 4 nations that make up the United Kingdom. But because London, the globally famous city, is located there, many people mistakenly use England to refer to the whole United Kingdom. In reality, this can cause misunderstanding and even frustration for people from Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland. For them, national identity and unique history are deeply important, and they do not consider themselves English but Scottish, Welsh, or Northern Irish. Have you ever mixed up these 3 names? Let us know in the comments how many times you have used the correct one. Number 2. The nation with territories on 5 continents. We all know that the United Kingdom consists of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. But in fact, this family is much larger than it might first appear. In addition to these 4 nations, the UK also oversees 3 self-governing islands: Jersey, Guernsey, and the Isle of Man. Although they are not part of the United Kingdom, they remain under the protection of the British Crown. You can think of them as close cousins who have their own homes and laws, but when needed, the UK steps in to defend and represent them on the international stage. The UK is also connected to 14 overseas territories such as Gibraltar, the Virgin Islands, and Bermuda. These are remnants of the old British Empire, and while they have their own local governments, they continue to maintain strong ties with the UK. The total area of the United Kingdom is about 243,000 square kilometers. England occupies the largest portion, about 130,000 square kilometers, which means it accounts for more than 53% of the entire UK. The population of the United Kingdom is currently around 67.7 million people. Of that, roughly 84% live in England, making it the most densely populated part of the Union. London serves as both the capital of England and the capital of the entire United Kingdom. It is not only the political center, but also a global hub for the economy, finance, and culture. However, alongside London, each constituent nation has its own capital city. Cardiff is the capital of Wales. Edinburgh is the capital of Scotland. Belfast is the capital of Northern Ireland. As for the climate, the UK is famous for its unpredictable and ever-changing weather. In a single day, you might see clear blue skies in the morning, chilly winds in the afternoon, and by evening, gray clouds with mist or drizzle. This constant change means that the British always carry a light jacket and an umbrella, not just in case, but because they know for sure that the weather will act up at some point. Number 3. The empire on which the sun never set. Throughout world history, the British Empire was known as one of the most powerful and expansive colonial empires ever to exist. The empire began to take shape in the late 16th and early 17th centuries, starting with the establishment of colonies and trading posts across the globe. In 1583, Britain claimed Newfoundland in Canada, marking the beginning of its overseas ambitions. By the 17th century, Britain gradually expanded its presence by taking control of islands in the Caribbean, setting up trading companies in India, and establishing settlements in North America. Rather than full-scale conquest from the outset, the British adopted a flexible model building, trading posts, signing treaties with local kingdoms, and slowly taking root. This strategy of gradual infiltration allowed Britain to build an enormous colonial network that spanned oceans and continents. By 1922, at the height of its power, the British Empire ruled over about 458 million people, nearly 23% of the world's population at the time. Its territory covered more than 33.6 million square kilometers, accounting for about a quarter of the Earth's land area. This made it the largest empire by landmass in human history, with territories stretching from the vast lands of Canada in North America to the populous India in Asia, the nations of Africa, and as far as Australia and New Zealand in Oceania. The British Empire was famously called the empire on which the sun never sets. At any given moment, some part of its territory was always under the sun's light. Beyond its territorial reach, the empire left a lasting legacy by spreading British culture, language, and legal systems around the world. To this day, these influences are still clearly visible in many former colonies, from the use of the English language to educational models, legal systems, and political institutions. Number 4. UK women beautiful, intelligent, and incredibly unpredictable. In the United Kingdom, the beauty of women is not confined by any single standard. This is one of the most ethnically diverse countries in Europe, where you can find every version of beauty, from the fair, rosy skin and golden hair of Northern European heritage to the sun-kissed glow of Caribbean women, the bold afro curls, or the deep, captivating eyes of women with Indian and Middle Eastern roots. This blend of cultures has created a colorful beauty map that gives British women a unique and unpredictable charm. British women often favor the elegance and subtle sophistication typical of English style, but they are not afraid to break the rules when they want to. In big cities like London, you will see every kind of fashion, from energetic streetwear to rebellious punk and artistic, avant-garde outfits. Meanwhile, women in Scotland and Wales tend to embrace a freer, bolder sense of style, sometimes mixed with a distinctive touch of wildness. Women in the UK are not only beautiful, but are also among the most highly educated in Europe. According to reports, around 59% of university graduates are women, far surpassing the rate among men. Today, about 32 to 34% of small businesses in the UK are run by women, proving how strong-willed, independent, and determined they are. In love, British women are often confident and straightforward about expressing their views. They do not need anyone to spend ages trying to win them over, and truly value sincerity and thoughtful gestures. They are not afraid to end a relationship if they feel it is not right for them. However, women from Northern Ireland or Scotland may hold on to more traditional values. They are usually more reserved and place greater importance on long-term bonds rather than fast love. British women are generally open to international marriage. Many choose to marry men from the US or other parts of Europe. Especially in London, many women are drawn to relationships with partners from different cultures, finding excitement in diversity and the chance to form emotional connections across borders. Would you like to know the secrets to winning the heart of a British woman? If so, comment number 1, and we will reveal them to you. Number 5. English was once the language of the lower class. The United Kingdom is considered one of the places with the greatest diversity of accents in the world. Traveling from Liverpool to Manchester, you will notice that people speak with completely different pronunciations, even though the two cities are only about an hour's drive apart. The origins of this phenomenon can be traced back to thousands of years of migration and invasion. Peoples such as the Vikings, Romans, and Anglo-Saxons each set foot on this island and left their mark on the language. In addition, because transportation was very limited in the past, people mostly lived and communicated within their own villages. Over generations, each local community gradually developed its own way of speaking, which has been preserved to this day. Some regions like Scouse, Glaswegian, or Belfast are famous for having accents so strong that even people from other parts of the UK, let alone international visitors, have to really concentrate to understand what is being said. Linguists estimate that England alone has more than 40 distinct regional accents, not to mention Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, each of which is a complex sound map of its own. The diversity of accents is not the only surprising aspect of English in the UK. Few people know that for nearly 300 years after the Norman invasion, French was actually the language of the royal family, government, and aristocracy. During that time, English was considered the language of farmers and laborers, with almost no political standing. It was not until the 14th century that English gradually regained its status and became the official language of the nation. And you have probably heard of William Shakespeare. Here is a fun fact. He invented over 3,000 English words and phrases. Words like lonely, bedroom, fashionable, gossip, cold-blooded, and phrases like green-eyed monster that you still hear today all originated from the rich imagination of this great playwright. Have you ever heard a British accent that made you want to turn on the subtitles right away? Share the name of that region in the comments below. Number 6. The British drink 60 billion cups of tea every year. The British are famously known as a nation addicted to tea. A recent report revealed that, on average, each person in the UK drinks about 900 cups of tea a year, that is over 60 billion cups across the country annually. The United States has a population 5 times larger than Britain, but consumes only about 1/20th of the tea the UK does, which shows just how enormous Britain's tea consumption truly is. The British enjoy tea at all times and in all places, from breakfast, afternoon tea with cakes, to evening tea. The famous saying, "That's my cup of tea," also stems from this deep love for tea, used to describe something one particularly enjoys. Because tea is so closely tied to British life, they have created all sorts of customs and rules around it, including one debate that sounds simple but has sparked heated arguments for centuries. Do you pour the tea into the milk, or the milk into the tea? This question became such a matter of national discussion that major newspapers like The Guardian and The Telegraph weighed in, even using science to settle the dispute. Some have joked that this was almost the cause of a British Civil War 2.0. Scientifically, many experts recommend pouring the milk first, and then the hot tea, so the milk warms evenly and does not curdle or form an unpleasant skin on the surface. Culturally, however, the British royal family and aristocracy prefer pouring the tea first, followed by the milk. According to Grant Harold, former butler to the Queen, this is a long-standing tradition at Buckingham Palace. Since they use high-quality china that does not crack from boiling water, there is no need to pour milk first to cool the tea. And so, even today, Britain remains quietly divided into 2 camps: the milk, first, and the tea, first drinkers, each with its own reasoning and neither willing to yield. If you ever find yourself chatting with the British, be careful when bringing up this question, you might just spark a fiery debate. Number 7. King's Bard. Princes working regular jobs. Do you think being a king means having absolute power? Not quite. If you are in the United Kingdom, where the royal family owns dozens of palaces but is not allowed to set foot inside the House of Commons. This tradition dates back to the 17th century, when Parliament rose up against King Charles I. Since then, to affirm that legislative power says no to royal authority, Parliament has barred the monarch from entering the Commons. Even on the day of the state opening of Parliament, the monarch may only deliver the speech in the House of Lords, and then wait outside. And if you imagine the royals always sitting on thrones sipping afternoon tea, think again. Some members of the royal family have chosen to pursue ordinary jobs just like any other citizen. Both Prince William and Prince Harry served as military pilots and received salaries from the Ministry of Defense. Princess Anne represented Britain at the Olympics. Prince Edward worked as a television producer and even got caught up in a scandal for allegedly using his royal status to secure television deals. Stepping back in history, did you know there was once a queen who never set foot in England? That was Berengaria of Navarre, wife of King Richard I, better known as Richard the Lionheart. Although she was officially Queen of England, she never visited the country, and most of its people never even saw her face. And finally, if you think your family tree is big, Queen Victoria truly takes the crown. She is known as the Grandmother of Europe, as nearly every royal family in Europe today is descended from her. From Spain to Sweden, from Norway to Denmark, every royal house bears traces of "made in the UK." In fact, the current King of Norway is still considered 73rd in line to the British throne if you follow the official bloodline. Number 8. The UK's quirky left-side traffic. The United Kingdom is famous for its reverse traffic system, compared to most of the world. People here drive on the left side of the road, with the steering wheel on the right side of the car. This tradition dates back to ancient times, when knights on horseback preferred to keep their right hand free, to hold their sword and defend themselves when meeting an enemy on the road. Today, along with Britain, only about 35% of the global population, mostly in former British colonies like Australia, India, and Malaysia, still drives on the left. This driving style often leaves foreign visitors confused, especially when they try driving here for the first time. Britain is also known as the Kingdom of Roundabouts. The country is home to over 25,000 roundabouts of all kinds, the highest density in the world relative to land area. These range from small roundabouts that are little more than a painted circle on the road to true masterpieces that can make even experienced drivers break into a sweat. The most famous example is the Magic Roundabout in Swindon, a complex made up of 5 mini roundabouts arranged around one large central roundabout, creating a traffic maze that even locals find stressful to navigate. In addition, the taxi system in the UK is considered one of the most challenging in the world. To become a licensed taxi driver in London, candidates must pass the infamous test known as the Knowledge. They have to memorize more than 25,000 streets, thousands of landmarks, hotels, and iconic buildings, as well as the shortest routes across the city. This training usually takes 2 to 4 years, turning British taxi drivers into living GPS brains. Number 9. The unique pub culture of the UK. When it comes to the community culture of the United Kingdom, beyond the ancient churches and vibrant squares, we simply cannot forget the pubs, the iconic beer houses that are a true symbol of this land of mist. Today, the UK is home to over 50,000 pubs scattered across its cities, including some of the oldest, like the Fighting Cocks in St. Albans, which has been around since the 11th century. What makes stepping into a British pub special is the warm and friendly atmosphere. Many traditional pubs in Britain are often divided into 2 bar areas. One side is for those who enjoy lively conversation and a bustling vibe, while the other offers a quieter setting, perfect for those who want to relax and have a private chat. In addition, quite a few pubs feature garden spaces or rooftop terraces, ideal for enjoying the breeze, soaking up the sun in summer, and taking in the fresh air. Besides their unique spaces, pubs are also known for fascinating unwritten rules that visitors should know. For example, there is the culture of buying rounds, where each person in a group takes turns paying for everyone's drinks, showing generosity and camaraderie. When the pub is busy, although there is no formal line, the staff always notice and serve the person who has been waiting the longest. And if you accidentally spill someone's drink, offering to buy them a new one is the least you can do to show courtesy. Beer is the heart and soul of the pub. The British love their dark bitters served at room temperature, along with lagers, stouts like Guinness, and of course, cider. Beer is usually poured by the pint, 568 milliliters, or half pint. Beyond beer, pubs also serve traditional dishes like the ploughman's lunch with cheese, bread, and pickled onions, as well as fish and chips or meat pies stewed with ale. The lively pub atmosphere is often filled with games like darts, or even age-old traditional games that have been played for centuries. If you visit the UK, what would you like to try first at a pub? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Number 10. The greatest creative powerhouse in history. Are you browsing the web? Watching television? Brushing your teeth in the morning or fastening your seatbelt before driving? Believe it or not, almost everything you do carries a trace of Britain. Few would imagine that this foggy nation is actually one of the greatest creative workshops in human history. From the steam engine, an invention that ignited the Industrial Revolution and ushered the world into the modern age, to the locomotive, the vacuum tube, the television, the telephone, and even the very foundations of the internet, all were born here. But it is not just grand inventions. Britain also gave the world countless everyday conveniences, such as the refrigerator, the soda can, and the paperclip. Small objects perhaps, but ones that have changed how the world lives. And if you think the United Kingdom only invented machines, think again. This is also the birthplace of modern sports. It was in England that football was codified with the first official rules in the 19th century, paving the way for the global domination of the beautiful game. But it did not stop there. Britain is also the cradle of many other world-famous sports such as tennis, golf, rugby, cricket, and modern horse racing. And while the modern Olympic Games were revived by the French, the entire system of refereeing, rules, and competition organization was heavily shaped by the British. Without the United Kingdom, today's world of sports would certainly be missing many of its most exciting parts. Number 11. The world's most valuable free museum. You don't need to travel around the world. Just step into the British Museum and you can journey through over 2 million years of human history. This is not only the National Museum of the United Kingdom, but is also considered a treasure trove of humanity, preserving some of the most exquisite and mysterious legacies of civilizations that once existed on Earth. Located in the heart of London, the museum boasts an enormous collection of over 8 million artifacts from all continents, from Africa and Asia to Europe and the Americas. You can see everything from primitive stone tools from Africa to ancient Chinese collections, from Indian Buddha statues to Japanese ceramics. One of its most famous treasures is the Rosetta Stone, the key that enabled humanity to decipher Egyptian hieroglyphs. Nearby are millennia-old mummies preserved so well that they can send chills down your spine. You can also see the remnants of the ancient Parthenon temple that have sparked decades of disputes between Greece and Britain, or the Moai statue heads from Easter Island. Although the museum holds one of the largest collections in the world, only about 80,000 objects are on permanent display. Yet with just these, you can easily lose yourself for hours in a maze of history, art, beliefs, and civilizations. Remarkably, the British Museum is completely free to enter. No tickets, no reservations. This is how the British people express the spirit of sharing the cultural heritage of all humanity with everyone. However, because the museum houses so many artifacts from across the world, it has also become the center of considerable controversy. Many countries, from Greece and Egypt to Nigeria, have repeatedly demanded the return of objects taken to Britain during colonial times, arguing that these are treasures that were borrowed but never returned. Number 12. Top tourist destinations in the United Kingdom. When it comes to the United Kingdom, one cannot overlook the destinations that are steeped in history, majestic nature, and rich culture spread across its four lands. In Scotland, the capital city of Edinburgh captivates visitors with Edinburgh Castle, standing proudly atop a rocky hill, overlooking the ancient city below. Along the Royal Mile, the heritage route leading to the Palace of Holyrood House, you can fully sense the breadth of history. Every August, Edinburgh becomes the cultural heart of the world, with the Edinburgh Festival, the largest arts festival on the planet, drawing thousands of artists and spectators from all over. Heading down to England, Stonehenge emerges in all its mystery with its stone circles over 5,000 years old. Recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, it remains one of the most famous ancient wonders of the world. In the southwest, Cornwall wins the hearts of visitors with its unspoiled beaches, charming fishing villages, and dramatic coastal cliffs. It is truly a paradise for those who love surfing, relaxing, or exploring Celtic culture. In Wales, Snowdonia will leave you in awe with Snowdon, the highest mountain in Wales. This national park is an ideal destination for hikers, cyclists, and nature lovers seeking adventure in stunning landscapes. Finally, in Northern Ireland, you simply cannot miss the Giant's Causeway, a unique basalt wonder honored by UNESCO, along with Belfast, the vibrant city known as the birthplace of the legendary T.I. Number 13. Unique festivals in the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is not only famous for its historic landmarks and breathtaking landscapes, but also known as the land of vibrant festivals that attract millions of visitors each year. The most iconic is undoubtedly the Glastonbury Festival in England, the largest outdoor music festival in the country and one of the most famous festivals in the world. Held in the countryside of Somerset, this event brings together a host of global music stars, from rock and pop to EDM, alongside diverse art performances, creating an electric atmosphere that lasts for days and nights. In Northern Ireland, St. Patrick's Day on the 17th of March is a festival rich in cultural identity. It is a day to honor St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland. Across the cities, especially in Belfast, colorful parades filled with shades of green take place, along with folk music concerts and lively beer celebrations where everyone raises a glass in cheer. Scotland impresses the world with the Edinburgh Festival in August, the largest arts festival on the planet. During this time, the capital Edinburgh transforms into a giant stage with thousands of performances, from classical music and theater to street comedy and book festivals, drawing artists and audiences from all over the globe. In Wales, St. David's Day on the 1st of March is an occasion for people to honor St. David, the patron saint of Wales. The festival is filled with the yellow of daffodils and the image of leeks, two traditional symbols. Parades with national costumes, folk music, and community activities light up this beautiful land. Which festival would you like to experience the most? Share your thoughts with us. Number 14. Food culture of the United Kingdom. British cuisine is known for its simple dishes that are rich in traditional flavors and closely tied to everyday life. One of the most famous dishes is fish and chips, consisting of battered and fried fish fillet served with fries, often accompanied by vinegar or tartar sauce. This dish was once a staple for the working class, and has now become a symbol of British street food. Next is the Sunday roast, a traditional Sunday lunchtime meal. It typically features roasted meat, most commonly beef, chicken, or lamb, served with roasted potatoes, boiled vegetables, and Yorkshire pudding, a type of fluffy baked batter that soaks up the meat gravy. The Sunday roast is not just a meal, but also a cherished occasion for family gatherings. Another signature dish is the meat pie, with steak and ale pie being particularly popular. This hearty pie is filled with beef stewed in dark ale, offering a rich and savory flavor. The ploughman's lunch is another well-known traditional meal, usually consisting of cheddar cheese, bread, pickles, and onions. It was once a convenient and hearty midday meal for workers. British cuisine is also famous for its desserts, such as trifle, sticky toffee pudding, and scones served with clotted cream and jam during afternoon tea. Number 15. Diverse living and travel costs. The cost of living in the United Kingdom can vary greatly depending on the region. London is consistently ranked among the most expensive cities in the world, but just a few hours away, you can find areas where the cost of living is half as much, especially in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. If you travel to the capital city of London, a simple meal at a casual restaurant will cost around 15 to 25 USD, a cup of coffee about 4 to 5 USD, a one-way underground ticket about 3.5 to 4.5 USD, and an unlimited day pass ranges from 8 to 10 USD. A mid-range hotel room in the city center usually costs between 150 and 250 USD per night. In contrast, if you choose to stay in a smaller city like Cardiff in Wales or Belfast in Northern Ireland, a similar hotel room will cost only about 70 to 120 USD per night. Restaurant meals are 30 to 40% cheaper, and many attractions are completely free of charge. For long-term living, on average, a person needs about 1,400 to 2,000 USD per month to live in London. Meanwhile, in rural areas or smaller cities such as Dundee in Scotland or Bangor in Wales, this cost is only about 900 to 1,300 USD per month, including housing, food, transportation, and basic utilities. However, a major advantage is that public transportation in the UK is highly developed and efficient, helping visitors save on travel costs between cities. In addition, most museums, national parks, and historical sites in England and Scotland offer free admission, which greatly reduces the travel budget for those who love cultural exploration. Would you choose to stay in glamorous London or explore the beautiful countryside at a much lower cost? Share your dream destination in the UK in the comments. So we have just explored 15 unique and surprising facts about the United Kingdom together. I hope that after this video, you have gained a new, different, and deeper perspective on a country where the law is strict, but life remains vibrant and creative. If you found these discoveries interesting, do not forget to like to give us more motivation, share the video to spread this knowledge, and subscribe to the channel so you will not miss our next fascinating journeys. The information is for reference only, so please do your own research before making any decisions.